Yes.
Well, of course, heading straight into our business insight. But before we get there, this has been all powered by Zabu. Star 292 hash, that is the magic code, as you will be available with quite lots of options. Sorry, you can buy government bond securities, and of course the market's already open as I speak right now, 8:15 a.m. Till 3:15 p.m. and of course that is Monday to Friday, and of course except on the weekends and the public holidays when they don't operate. With as little as just 15,000, you're in position to actually get acquainted with this, make some side income. And also the other interesting aspect in here is that when you're tired, if you're no longer interested to have these shares, you can sell them with an instant and you'll be able to get back your money. Zabu, my money, my future, do something new for yourself, all Texas, East Africa. Of course, 2023 is the year of course, transformation, financial freedom in all that aspect, and Zabu just made it more of a reality.
In church, when you say 2023 is a year of transformation, I've remembered how pastors would say,
yes,
2023 is a year of new beginnings. You know, in church, pastors will always give us hope. It's a year of moving in faith.
But I think it works.
Yeah, it does. Because the theme this year in most churches is that 2023 is the year of Psalms 23.
Psalms 23.
Yeah, because the Lord is my shepherd. So that means we have to continue, with that element.
Okay. I shall not want.
Yes.
I shall not lack. So everything I want, I will get it. All right. That is a very interesting aspect coming in there. And getting straight into our insight, and this time around we are looking at that is water sanitation challenges that is in Uganda. And having this discussion is Patrick Mufuya, that is the managing director of Davis and Shortlift Uganda. Let us see what really this entails, and we shall be returning with more discussions. Of course, with Joram, we shall be shedding more lights regarding this very insight. Stick around.
Now, when you look at the context, in the context of Uganda, it's a very interesting situation in the sense that we know about 80%, statistics have it that 80% of people in Uganda do not have access to clean water. And it's even more surprising that in the urban centers, statistics also indicate that about 22% of the people actually spend money to be able to buy water from vendors, which is a very unfortunate situation. Now, the thing here is that the other challenge that also the country is experiencing, and not only Uganda, but many other countries across the world, which is a global problem, is actually climate change, because seasons have changed. People used to expect rain maybe in a certain time, but now it's no longer the case. So because of that, it's a problem that Uganda as well has to face. I mean, is dealing with. We know that about 15% of 15% of Uganda is actually it's actually covered with fresh water, which is a very interesting situation. And then, but now on the other side, those things that I talked about, the other statistics that I talked about, that as much as 15% of the surface area is water, 80% of the people are not having access to, to clean water. That's really a problem. And the irony of the situation here is that as much as there is this abundant water supply, but people on the other side are suffering and struggling because of lack of access to good water, safe water, and sanitation issues. The issue here, how I look at it, is that the solution lies in putting in place a structured approach in tackling the problem by having various sector players or various stakeholders working together to be able to address the problem. One of the ways could be through maybe advocacy for those who are like in the NGO sector. Government could allocate a little bit more funding to be able to support these people. In abstraction, of course, we know that the traditional way of abstracting water from, let's say, from a river or from a borehole has been through motorized way of powering pumps, engine solutions. But at the moment now, with time, people are asking themselves the question of sustainability. Will it be sustainable? Once I put there an electric pump with a 100 kVA generator, will the community be able to, to take care of that cost of running that pump? So because of that, solar is becoming, every other day, solar is becoming affordable, and we are therefore providing solutions using renewable energy, that is solar solutions, wind power solutions, and other solutions within renewable energy space. Of course, I understand that there are some cases whereby maybe some water sources need to be abstracted, or they're supposed to be run maybe even across the night when solar is not available, because some people will ask questions about that. So the thing is that we also provide hybrid solutions where you can have a hybrid solution where you can have a system powered by the normal mains, but it can also be powered by solar using some sort of technological gadgets that we're able to provide. The other thing, again, is on the whole question about to address climate change, because at the moment when we're talking about the fact that, and even the president, last year, December, I attended a meeting which was the 50th anniversary of national water. And in the speech of the president, he was talking about the priorities that he has for 2023-2024 financial year. And he said railway, he talked about solar irrigation, he talked about electricity and roads, just to mention a few. So in this context here, we're saying we are providing irrigation solutions so that people do not have to wait for the rain for them to be able to farm or to irrigate. Now that helps address the problem of food security. People do not have to wait. They can be able to farm all around the year, all across the year. The other thing is, as Davis and Shatcliffe, we also say that we give you the water you want from the water you have. Now the question is, therefore, is we are saying 15% of Uganda is basically covered by fresh water. But the question is this water safe for drinking or for use? Most of the time, not. So how now that works with the technologies that we can actually provide for this? Depending on the water source, we provide technologies like filtration solutions. The other technology that we provide is like chlorination, or basically disinfection solutions, so that as you get water from that borehole or from that river, you can put in some chlorine to make sure that the water is safe for drinking. We have also other cases whereby maybe the water is a bit saline or the water is hard. So solutions that can be used by various players, and actually the government can also invest in those solutions, is desalination, where water is a bit salty, or where water is hard. We can actually provide solutions, as Davis and Shatcliffe, and of course, indeed, with other players also playing part, is softening solutions, where water can be softened or desalination can happen so that the water is safe. So the other problem there that I would say we are addressing through CSR is a basic problem of diseases. You know, sanitation problems means children are sick, it means people are sick, and whenever children are sick, it means they are not going to school. If they are not going to school, it means that they are not getting, they are most likely not going to be empowered with education. And if they are not empowered with education, it means it's a problem for the child, it's a problem for the family, it's a problem for the community where that child comes from, and it's also a problem for the country. It's actually a fact that in solving the problem at hand, all players, all stakeholders must be involved. I would actually say it's a situation whereby all hands need to be on the deck. We, the people in the private sector, like Davis and Shatcliffe, the government, institutions, development partners need to work together, and even the communities themselves. So I would look at two possible ways or mechanisms through which this can be done. One of the ways is through, and indeed I would actually give an example, a model whereby 4 parties come together to solve a problem. Now, so the 4 parties would be a private entity, like Davis and Shatcliffe, for example. We have some projects that we are doing in Karamoja region, together with UNICEF and various government agencies in Karamoja. So how I look at it is that we have the private sector like Davis and Shatcliffe, we have a development partner or a support agency like UNICEF in this situation. We have then we have the host community. So for a specific project, Davis and Shatcliffe is providing the technology, is providing the materials, UNICEF is providing the funding, the government is identifying the need, and of course developing a framework around which solutions can be provided or made. One of the key ways this can be done is the whole concept about the PPP, the public-private partnership. One of the ways I would look at it is a situation whereby the government maybe would provide infrastructure or some policy guidelines along which certain people can actually put in place or rather participate. Basically a policy framework, and then certain, let's say, a private investor can actually choose to invest. After the policy framework is in place, a private sector sees the opportunity, he or she can invest in that thing or in that project and then be able to provide the solutions through that. I look at this as a quite a very important vehicle that can be used to support, to address these kind of issues, because the government on its own cannot be able to address all the problems. But through policy framework, as I've explained, and having, of course, also some development partners, some support from like UN agencies, putting resources together, it can help. Issues about tax. I think the government has made some, like let's say solar panels, they are exempted from VAT, which is a good thing, and I must congratulate the government for that. But a few other products, let's say in an installation or in a given project, we have some items that are vatable, others are not vatable. Maybe the government could consider, like what I've seen in one of the countries doing, is that for situations whereby a borehole, because it's a problem, water availability is a problem. So where, for a specific borehole situation, then the government would consider exempting tax, specifically VAT, on the whole installation, so that if a pipe is going into that borehole, and maybe the labor and cables and so on could actually be exempted from VAT. Of course, there could be issues about how to prove that maybe this and this item was specifically used in that borehole, but if the country can come up with ways of being able to control that, it will go a long way supporting the initiative here. Of course, making those solutions affordable for the people. With looking at the space where we're working, I'm not aware of any tax exemptions or duties for products that are addressing climate change, with the exception of exemption on VAT on solar panels, for example. But I like that. That's a good idea. That as a way of combating the problem of climate change, maybe there could be some exemptions, which at the moment I'm happy about that question. It's maybe I would consider it maybe as an advocacy kind of approach, where the government could actually consider putting in place some policy guidelines that would support activities that are meant to address climate change.
Well, of course, the topic of discussion in here is regarding water and sanitation challenges in Uganda. And of course, taking a look at the key highlights in here, we see that more funding is needed, and that is for accessibility of clean water, and different stakeholders should join hands to provide safe water in that regard. Now, 22% of people spend more on clean water. And of course, taking a look at 15% of Ugandans is covered, 15% of Uganda is covered with fresh water, but 70% don't access clean water. Tax exemptions on products used for climate change, for example, pipes and tanks. And of course, those are the stakeholders calling in for that as an avenue to access to clean water. Well, with me here, of course, I have a panel here. I'm joined with Hanifa, and of course still with Joram to discuss this very, very, very matter. So, gentlemen and lady and gentlemen, I was going to say ladies, I was going to say gentlemen.
We have the mighty Hanifa.
The mighty Hanifa in here. Well, just a brief, let's discuss about this. I mean, challenges of accessing clean water in Uganda. We're 70%, but 15%. 15% is covered with water, but 70% don't have access to clean water.
I think the worst part about this is how natural resources are the most expensive things in the country. And when you look at the access of water or clean water, I think the biggest word here is clean.
Yes.
Clean water.
Yeah, clean.
Because if we say access to water, water is accessible. But
It
the only challenge is one, the expenses. It's expensive. Then now clean water. Because accessing clean water is very, very difficult. I think for people, especially for people who stay within Kampala, you can easily bear with that statement that, well, to access clean, now if at all we start talking about clean and healthy water, it may actually be clean. How about the healthy
aspect?
The health aspect, and of course the implications it has. Because we've all had these issues of water. Sometimes water does look so, I should say, quite unhealthy.
I know.
Yeah.
You're home, you're trying to prepare something, a meal, or you want to prepare, let's say, some tea, you want to prepare food, and then you look at the color of the water you're getting from a tap. And then you've actually paid for that water. And when it comes to the sink, it becomes even terrible. And you ask yourself, what is not happening in the country?
Yeah, very, very true.
And then for those, I believe for people in the villages, will actually even have more safer water than ours. For example, people who actually get water from boreholes. Theirs looks to be more pure.
By the way.
The only challenge is the rust. Sometimes the boreholes rust in that, but it's very safe.
But then the wells and the boreholes bringing better water than even people who are in the city.
Yeah, very, very true.
It's quite absurd that in East Africa, Uganda has the most fresh waters. If we are to compare these other East African countries,
because
we have the most waters.
Very, very
but
fresh.
The fact that Ugandans cannot even access clean water, I don't know where is the problem. Who is not doing their work?
Clean water at a cheaper price.
What needs to be done for Ugandans to access water, which is even clean? I don't really get it, because when it comes to water, we see water everywhere, but Ugandans don't have that water. They can't access that water, and even the ones that have the water, it is quite expensive. They bring for you a bill and they're like, I didn't use this water. Where is this bill coming from?
I think the only fresh and clean water we have for now, and I don't think it is so fresh anyway, is the drinking water, the mineral water. We have over 7 brands, I should say, on the market. Others are selling it at 500. We have like 4 brands selling water at 1,000, which are the few brands, of course. But then the other brands that will total up to around 10 water brands on the market.
There are so many.
I think so many. It's just clear but not clear. Those two distinctions.
Yes.
For example, lately we have the dispenser technology. Not dispenser. Actually, there are these. They call them purifiers. Where you get water straight from the tap. You just put it in there, and then it's purified. That's what according to the
machine.
Yeah, according to the machine. But purifying the water, that means simply you're just getting rid of the physical substances probably that seem make it dirty. But what about those invisible, we call them germs. Of course, they're microscopic. They can only die through heat.
What boiling does more.
What boiling does more. So do you realize, and lately, there has been a challenge. I believe, Joram, you've experienced it. Some of the water that we use, you open the tap and water comes out dirty. And
the first water that comes out is always dirty
and stinky.
And now that's the part I was heading to. It smells a horrible, bad odor. And then you're putting that water in a purifier and you're taking it. I feel like that's a little risky.
I think we've got a lot of education and we forgot about the basics. So we think anything we study about, or anything that is expensive, or having at least something, or having a standard mark from UNBS is right to be used. I think.
But it's way more than that.
And when it comes to the health-wise complications, I think we need to step up as Ugandans here. Because sometimes when you buy, for example, a bottle of mineral water, you will hear some weird smell, especially when it's about to get spoiled.
Very true.
Because some people are asking, why should mineral water have an expiry date? Though it does have. So, and once it's expired, or it's close to getting expired, because of the chemicals that are being put in there to purify this water and keep it safe, because it is always covered. Anything that you cover for a long time obviously has to it has to release. So some of these chemicals being used help to maintain this water to remain a bit fresh for a period of some good months as well. But I think it is the same thing that causes these issues to do with purity. Let's say when you look at freshness, I think it actually ceases to be fresh after a period of some good month, 1 or 2, because I want to believe, why would we keep water? Even at home, when you keep boiled water in, let's say, 5-liter jerrycan, like we normally do, and it takes time without opening it. Once you open, there's some smell it brings.
It's not fresh.
All right, very, very interesting. Thank you so much for that. That's very, very interesting insight regarding clean water that is in Uganda. Well, away from that now, of course, let's get into the discussion regarding the Non-Alignment Movement Summit, and of course, which is scheduled to take place, that is in December in Uganda. Now, the Non-Alignment Movement Summit is a forum that is of 120 countries that are not formally, of course, aligned with all against any major power bloc, and that is to say United States of America or Russia. Now, the Non-Alignment Movement was founded, that is in 1961, with the view of advancing interests, that is of developing countries, in the context of the Cold War confrontation. Definitely for those of you that were, who did the arts, you remember, you studied about the Non-Alignment Movement.
I think we are all art students.
Definitely, I was an art student. African, when we are studying the
African nationalism,
growth of African nationalism. But now it's very interesting that now it's not more about fighting for freedom, but now looking at for economic freedom. Trying to see how best the countries in this bloc can actually attain that self-independency and building resilient economies. So, Hanifa, what should we anticipate for this coming Non-Alignment Movement? I mean, are we expecting to see some sort of discussions that are going to be of great critical economic response?
Of course, that is what is expected. Being a member of the Non-Aligned movement, and being that Uganda is going to take the chairmanship. Right. Currently, it is Azerbaijan that is currently holding the chairmanship of that of that. So we bid it. So we won the bidding. So this year it is Uganda hosting over 120 countries. That's over 4,000 delegates expected to come into the country. Now we are excited about this as Ugandans, because we know what it's going to bring, what it takes.
Exactly.
Of course, it is going to come with money and of course opportunities for Uganda as a country. But the most unfortunate bit of it is that we do not have a venue to host these visitors, these countries, these delegates.
Are they too special? I know they're special. I mean, we've had visitors from different countries. Presidents.
They need a bigger space, because over 120 countries.
So each country is going to come with delegates.
Yes. This is going to be the second biggest thing for Uganda, apart from the Commonwealth, the Chogam event that happened. So expecting 4,000 and more, because we are not so certain. We don't know what number a country is deciding to bring. People are excited to visit Uganda. Uganda is the pearl of Africa. With the tourism that we have, the people want to visit our animals. I'm sure that is all going to come in, and it is a great opportunity for Uganda. But if you don't have where to host these people, we have hotels, yes, but we are talking about a conference center that is going to house all that big number. We don't want stampede to happen to our visitors in case they happen. So we are a stage of still constructing. I thought it was even there. I thought actually our Serena could accommodate, but it so happened that Serena cannot accommodate 1,000, rather 4,000 people. It can only take 1,500.
Space is too limited.
The space is small. So the government is in partnership with the proprietor of Speak Resort Hotel, and construction is being done. And so they still want 86.4 billion shillings from the government part. Government has not contributed, but the proprietor has already started the work actually. Which is
they can pay them later.
Quite funny. So the Committee of Trade presented this loan. They want the loan of 86.4 billion shillings to cater for the part of government, because government has not brought anything. The other proprietor, for him, he has already started since construction has already started, and the one who took the contractor wants 90 billion shillings. So if the whole construction thing is about 40 million US dollars. If the proprietor has already started and government has not yet given their part, their bit, so that is where I say it's a challenge. But the MPs want the Ministry of Finance to appear, and they scrutinize this loan, and they see that we are not losing out. Actually, the terms and conditions of what loans can do.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Anifa. Definitely, we shall be returning back just more insight regarding that story in a few minutes. Then we shall be heading straight into our on-ground discussions. It's exactly 30 minutes past 9, and of course, what we should anticipate for our on-ground, we shall be looking at, of course, free education for students in primary and secondary schools, and of course, we shall still continue with this very discussion. Stick around. A very good morning.
Smart 24